All right. So it's recording. So
Recording.
we have Josh Velazquez here, aka Sniper Toe, aka Prohibition Barber Co. guy, owner.
Right.
It's Tuesday the 8th. Yeah, let's get to it. So Josh, tell us about you. You started in 98, but you didn't get licensed till 2014. Could
sure.
you maybe quickly run us through that and what that was like?
Yeah, for sure. First of all, thank you for picking me to do this. It's such an honor to help you out and to help our fellow barbers and hairdressers and our future. So that's why we're here to invest our time, right? So kudos for doing this, Mikey. I started in high school. I saw this trend of guys getting fades, in high school, and a lot of my friends were doing haircuts. I was a graffiti artist back then. And I got in trouble one time, and so my parents they punished me for a whole month, so I couldn't go out because I got caught doing graffiti. And so during that time, I had a whole month of damn, what should I do? You know what I mean? I don't want to continue to get in trouble, but let me try to use my form of creativity to something positive. And so I started hanging out with another group of guys that were cutting hair, and I love the fellowship that you would have with your guy coming in, right? So let's say if our buddy's having a tough day at school or having a tough day at home, he would come to my friend's house and my buddy would cut his hair, and it revives this sense of this what's the word I'm trying to find, of self-confidence, you know what I mean, and just sparks your attitude onto another level through a haircut. And I just love that feeling. And I was like, man, and my buddy's being creative. He's like cutting this guy's hair. He's throwing a beautiful fade. So I wanted to do that. I bought my first pair of clippers. I started cutting hair, and actually, oddly, that my very first haircut actually looked really good. And so now my guy went to school, and people were like, "Oh, who cut your hair?" And there's the word, Josh is cutting hair now. So for my senior year, my homecoming, and my prom, my parents' backyard deck was full of guys getting haircuts. I was charging $5 haircuts and $8 graphic designs. Look at me, without me even understanding. At the time, I was still an entrepreneur. Without me even acknowledging that, I just, I was making quick bucks, and I just loved cutting hair. But I truly felt that there was a value to that. So being in high school, I was like, let me at least charge a little bit, right? Yeah. And so I did that. That went super well. I was going to start after high school. I was going to join a cosmetology school, which it was called Pivot Point. We had a Pivot Point here in Chicago, and my life kind of turned the other way. I became a father at a young age after high school. So I had to put my passion of cutting hair to the side and become a man super quick. And I started working in corporate America, did that for 14, 15 years until, not too long ago, I said, look, I just can't continue to live life and feel like there's more for me, but I'm limiting myself being here in the office. So I had to sacrifice. I had to step out of my comfort zone to go get what belongs to me. That's how I felt. So I told my wife, I was like, I think I'm going to quit my full-time job to pursue barbering. I did my homework, and I was extremely confident that this was going to work. And because I had that energy, I had that faith within myself. Look where I stand now, right? So that's how pretty much I started.
Well, you're saying, but okay.
Yeah, right. Beautiful sofa, right?
And I'm curious, what did you? I've heard you mention that, of course, but what did you do?
So I worked at this wire and cable company called I don't know called Annixter, and I was in the freight department. Just corporate job behind the desk, just jotting numbers down. I was like in the freight not payables department, and I mean it was a great salary, had 401k, had a pension, and all these amazing things, but that still didn't fulfill me. Me cutting
Yeah.
hair, me having that feeling that I had in high school was everything, and I wanted it. And because I wanted it so bad, I had to sacrifice. And
Yeah.
so that's pretty much how I kind of broke. I broke loose. I was like, "Come on, let's do this."
Yeah.
And also, what helps a lot is being a little older because you understand that there's great risk. There's great. A lot of people are looking at you like looking up to you like my wife and my kids. So it's like I have to make this work.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't slack off whatsoever. So because I'm more mature, now that for me, I think this time of doing that transition from corporate to barbering made more sense to me, at least now, because I'm more mature. I have, I'm extremely focused, and so I think that's helped me out a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And at Pivot Point, that's what the students use is at least the curriculum is Pivot Point.
Mm-hmm.
At Pivot Point, so it was a barber program that you took?
No. So that was like right after high
sorry.
school.
Mm-hmm.
That I had an interview, and I was going to sign up, but it was going to be a cosmetology school, like a hairdresser.
Mm-hmm.
And then that didn't work out because my wife and I, we had our son. So I had to find a job that could provide like today, not tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I did. I went to a barber school here in Chicago when I quit my full-time job back around like 2013, 2014 or something like that. Yeah, I went to a barber school. Yeah.
Nice. What was that transition going into barber school? Because I mean, we all have obviously been to school or attending school, and it's a mix of ages. But how was that being like maybe more the older crowd? How was that transition?
Yeah, the old man walking in with his cane.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me. No, but at first, at first it was I was struggling a little just
Mm-hmm.
for the fact that, pretty much everyone in that school was, 18 or 19, 20 in their 20s. And I'm like 33, 34 years old with kids. But I was so focused on wanting to finish school because the father in me and the husband in me was like, I need to get back on the grind so I can make money, so I could pay my mortgage, so I could pay my car, so I could put food on my table. So the whole, I just adapted quick. I had to, and there was a couple older gentlemen in there, and that we kind of like stuck together, and we kind of did school together, and that helped a lot. Just finding that person that meshes well with you, that you guys could collaborate in school, you guys could study in school, and just have each other's back, and I had that. Yeah. So that helped a lot.
Yeah. No, I definitely had a little crew I ran with in school that we actually like studied together and like worked hard, and they were all so talented. And I think only a couple of us are still doing hair, and the other went into that whole statistic of becoming nursing students with great incomes. But God, that sounds boring.
Right.
What's with it's so frustrating that it's state by state with laws and rules, but what's the requirements at Illinois for barbering? Like how many hours you need, or what's that look like?
Yeah. So when I went to school, and again, it wasn't so far long ago, but And I believe hours have changed.
Hmm.
So back then it was 1,500 hours for someone that is not licensed. So if you are a cosmetologist and wanted to get your barber license, you had to do, I believe, 800 hours as a crossover. 15 if you're not licensed, 800 if you are. I did it part-time. I just had to do it part-time. It took me about a year and a half, but it was a year and a half of a commitment that I would do it in a heartbeat just because of everything that I've been truly blessed with. I mean, I got to know you, Mikey, through hair. You know what I mean? And look, like, I mean, we built such a solid relationship, an amazing relationship. And it's like, if I would have never been in hair, I would have never have met you or be doing this, right? So I look at things like this and I don't take them lightly. So,
yeah. And like we saw that boom in 2012, which I accidentally ended up at like a barbershop here in Portland, literally by accident. And I actually went to an interview because I knew the guy. And when he told me about the old school, at that time, it was just seemed a little over the top, but like the animal head, so like old prohibition kind of style. Yeah. And he wanted like a speakeasy and this and that. And I was just like, sounds great. And I went across the street and applied somewhere else. And then they turned me down because I didn't have 2 years of experience. So then I came back and was like, bro, I'm your guy, because that was the only job I had at the time.
Right. Hey,
but then but that was literally like purely by accident. And then coincidentally, Instagram had really blown up, and then the men's boom, right, of that barber scene. And so you being into barbering way back in the day when it was really considered like beneath a lot of hair people, honestly. Yeah. And then you came in, yes, like after 2012, but it really was probably pretty organic, but and not that hard. And it wasn't like you were trend chasing, I think is a word I feel that pops up. So when you finished school, and sorry, let me back up. Part-time. Were you a nighttime student, or was it like a partial week thing?
No, it was during the day. I just did like, maybe it was a Monday through Friday, and then I did half day Thursday and no school Friday. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then like Monday through Wednesday was 8 hours. Yeah. Okay. And I did like maybe 4 hours on Thursday. Yeah.
So when I went to school many moons ago, 10 years ago, I just saw on Facebook memory, to be part-time, you had to be a nighttime student. So you have to go to school at 5 and stay till like 9 or 10, 4 days a week. I mean, people were taking 2.5 years to get through hair design, not even the full program, That sounds terrible.
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah, you could have become a doctor or something like that. No.
Yeah, right. If we're getting into the hair industry, we can't be doctors, that's for sure. Right. So after school, where was your first job, and like why did you pick that direction, and what was that like starting?
Yeah. So it's pretty interesting that right after school, I got connected with this guy that I met in barber school, and we became really good friends. He was an owner of a salon, and before school, I had somewhat of a following on Instagram, and so a lot of like local barbers, they found out that I was going to barber school. So I had a couple visits from owners of different barbershops coming to the school and saying, hey, whenever you're ready, just let us know you have a chair. And I was like, all right, cool. Thank you. And my thing was, I greatly appreciated that. I mean, that was super sweet, but I just wanted to focus on school. I was like, I could find a job, because a lot of people were hiring at the time. So I was like kind of confident that I could find a job, but I was like, I just can't like focus on that right now. And then one of my buddies that I went to school with. He was a cosmetology owner of a salon, but getting his barber license. He's like, yo, I need you to be with me. I need you to like, come be one of my house barbers in our salon. And they wanted to transform their salon into like a little barber area, like a men's department in a way. And at first I was pushing away. I was like, I don't want to go into into a salon. Just not my vibe. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kept thinking about it. I was like, man, how dumb would I be not to do that? For the fact that in a salon, salons usually charge a lot more than barbershops because they're confident on what they're charging. I'm just being real,
Yeah.
And I said in that area is lacking something that I knew how to fade. In that area, there was no one that could fade well. So if I would go into that salon and start working there, I could like book up really quick. I took that risk. I was like, oh, screw it, I'll work in a salon, I'll see what it is, right? And kind of to rewind, when I quit corporate America to start my career in barbering, I told my wife one thing. I said, when I enter this new life that I guarantee is going to be like a new life, because I'm going from, having a steady income to like not really a steady income, I have to hustle all the time. I was like, but I guarantee I'm going to always step out of my comfort zone, because I know those are the moments that I could grow the most, And so through the whole of like me quitting at like 33 years old, my job to pursue barbering, stepping out of my comfort zone, me going to barber school, last time I went to school was forever ago, stepping out of my comfort zone. Me being offered a work in a high-end salon in Chicago as their house barber, stepping out of my comfort zone. And all of that has given me such great success because I owned it. I went into that salon and I'm like, all right, cool. That like, I'm going to learn. I'm going to absorb all of this knowledge. And I started working there and I booked out super fast. In a salon of like, I think at the time they had like 53 employees. My client retention usually was within the top 5, just because I always had clients pre-booking. And those are things that they taught me. And that's something I would never take away from them. I mean, everything is so structured in the salon. And that's why they could charge more, because they're confident that there is that service, and that attention to detail. So that's where I started. I was there for 5 years, or 4.5.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you like kind of jumped into that role and that position really quickly, but then, learned the importance of pre-booking and everything. Like, yes, this is a summit school. We teach them and talk about that, but it's still school. So putting myself in the shoes of the students, we think like, okay, well, whatever. Like when I'm out, I'll deal with the real world. Yeah. But that is a real tool that you need to learn and gain confidence in, is talking to your clients about pre-booking. Yep. And I think another thing is that the weird kind of loopholes people are taking to make quick money. And I feel like those are the people that are charging. They're making it harder for other people who are barbers to charge what you are charging, right? Like, why would the clients are spending that much? They can just come to me. I'm way better than that person. I'm charging 20. Okay, it doesn't matter. Like, obviously, this person charging more is doing something that you're not, right? And it's not just about the haircut. It's about that experience. I really want you to talk about the client experience that you provide and like how you naturally or incorporate this lifestyle. So let's talk about all that, because I feel like that does come into play with the client experience, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I've even way back when I was in high school, I've always been into clothes. I've always been into making myself feel good. That self-love that a lot of people have a tough time to accept. A lot of people, they feel, oh, I'm too soft if I love myself. Like, No, you're not. You know what I mean? Like when I dress, super well, and I feel good, my confidence is like skyrocket. And with humility, I don't like walk around, oh yeah, I'm big. You know what I mean? It's like I have no time for that. Beep, right? I recently heard this quote and I just love it. I don't compete, I create. And it's like, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to compete with no one. I'm just creating. And through my lifestyle, through the way I dress, through tattoos, whiskey, cigars, that's why I post a lot of those things on my Instagram, because it resonates to a lot of people, and especially men, or even guys that are new and they want to get a haircut with me. They already know who I am in a way through Instagram. They could be like, oh man, oh, I love cigars too. Oh, I'm going to talk to Josh about cigars. Or I'm going to talk to Josh about like denim, boots. And the list continues. So when he sits on my chair, we already broke that ice. And for me, I'm more at ease too, because you can feel the tension if your client's nervous. Then we're all human, right? I've been cutting hair forever, but still sometimes it gets a little, it gets uncomfortable at times. But if they could read you before they sit on your chair, it's just a better appointment. Now, your guy that's on the chair, he's like, okay, I see what he likes, what he's all about. I know he's going to do me well, and that's where I sit with pretty much all my clients, but it has to be consistent. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about you, is that you're super consistent on your vision. And that's why, like, I get a lot of people asking me, hey, you want to do an interview? I'm like, oh yeah, a little busy or whatever. But I want people that are serious. I want to work with those that are serious. I want clients that are serious about my craft, because at the end of the day, there's that mutual respect that he's going to continue to come back. I don't want to create short-term clients. I want to create lifetime clients. And these guys are going to bring more people to me because they know that I'm passionate about this craft. They know I go above and beyond for them, for myself, for my family, for my business. And so all of that for me just helps, and it's genuine. And I'm telling you, you could talk to my family. You could talk to one of my closest friends. Exactly what you see on Instagram is what you get as a person,
Yeah, definitely the short-term versus long-term. I feel like I mentioned it in the past to students or classes, or just casually talking to friends who reach out. And I'd rather have long-term goal setting in place than short-term satisfaction and just trying to get any client, because I want people that take me seriously. That means they're going to come to me long-term. I don't want someone who's just hopping around trying to get the best deal. I'm not competing with anyone, and I don't care what the next person is doing, but I just don't like when people push their beliefs onto others. Like, oh, like I right now charge 60. And so I'm sure some people would be like, that's whack.
Yep.
I probably could do it better for 35. That's great. I mean, hopefully you do it better, but that why, I mean, yeah, now I feel like I'm getting a little off topic. I feel like I need more coffee, honestly. Portland is in the past.
But here's the thing. And I'm happy that you did kind of bring that up. Like, why should another artist, barber, hairdresser, whoever you are, they question your price, they question their price, then you're doing something wrong. Then I've heard the same thing. Oh yeah, I like, why is he charging $65 if I charge $45? You come to me, dude. There's so much hair to cut. Like, the people that are charging $65, that are paying $65, is because they could afford it and they want that service as well. If there's that service, people are going to pay, And again, if you're charging $65, you better give them something in return. And that's why we do continuing education. That's why we're like, that's why we do things like this, because we care. Sure.
Yeah, you got to be consistent, not only behind the chair, but mentally and with the clients, and then also as your own business and brand, right? And if you are, it can definitely lead to a lot of opportunities, which is which I feel like that is why you not only ended up at Baxter, but what you've done with Baxter and L'Oreal. how'd you end up there? And then what's it been like?
Yeah. So I ended up with Baxter at the salon I was working at. L'Oreal acquired Baxter of California, and they were out shopping for artists, right? So they were looking for barbers, hairdressers for their education team. And one of our old directors at Baxter came into our salon to teach and ended up asking me, hey, by any chance, have you ever thought of becoming an educator for a brand like Baxter of California, right? And I was like, wow, I don't know, like never thought about it, right? But because I had the lifestyle of like the clothes and all that stuff, he already saw what I was about before. You know what I mean? And that's why it's so important to set yourself up.
I would say there's a lot of like freedom there. Do you feel like that's a thing?
I believe we both complement each other. I've, you know, again, I've grown as an artist very fast, and I did it under the Baxter of California umbrella. They were a huge platform for me.
I came across that old Naha video, and could you briefly talk about that? That was insane. Like you were on stage with some big people.
Yeah. So this is actually pretty funny. Do you remember when I think early in the year, we had a really big meeting. They flew all of the educators to California early that year. And then I got pulled into the office and they said, hey, you need to do Naha and it's in 3 weeks. I'm like, say what? And they were like, yeah, I mean, it'd be great if you could do that for us. And again, just being that person, that yes man, and understanding that there's great growth in that moment. I was like, I had to do it. I really didn't even know what I was going to do. I was just trying. It was like a transitional haircut on stage, but we only had like a minute to do it. There's something in me, like the energy, I don't know, I said zoom, and I was just so focused on the haircut. You know, it was scary, but it was super dope.
Yeah. I mean, you were sharing a stage with some very, very big people and people that have been doing it for a long time. And you were, I remember when you were prepping, which was like an all day thing. Yeah. Like that's what people need to, I don't know if people watching this might know, is that you weren't just sent up on stage for 2 or 3 minutes, just, willy nilly. Like that was an all day prep, mood boards. You were like next to like freaking Chris Barron and like some iconic people. That's insane. And
I was holding some weaves for him, and while he was cutting it, just having that quality time with like quality people in our hair industry is priceless. You can't be timid if you want to be successful. I'll tell you that. You have to be out there. You have to talk. You have to that engagement is so key. Behind the chair, outside of the chair. I
definitely remember being young and going to concerts all the time, and you'd see the band person and you like want to go say something, but you're nervous or like you don't think it'll be cool. It's more of like a cool factor, like, oh, they'll probably think it's lame or whatever. And like I had that anxiety, and I still deal with anxiety now, but like in the beginning, but after a while, you just got to break out of that and just get up there and introduce yourself. That night when we were on the red carpet, I went up to Gerard Scarpacey, the founder of Hairbrain, and I just went up to him and said, "Hi, my name is Mikey. I know who you are. I just want to say hello and appreciate your work." And he turned to me and gave me a drink ticket, and he said, "The power of saying hello," right? Because he was just like, no one's coming, like people aren't doing that, And we've had these experiences, and luckily we've had a lot of them together. There's so many moments where I'm just like, really, holy shit. Like I'm in New York, or when we were you
Yeah.
and I and Mike Matalo, former
Yeah.
L'Oreal educator, we were on that boardwalk out in
Yeah.
Manhattan Beach and just walking around and just taking it all in. It's like, I'm out here for work. What?
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah.
insane. And you were on stage, like, that was fun watching on stage, but you
Yeah.
were
Thank you.
working.
Yeah.
I think we need to just realize there's a lot of experiences within the hair industry.
There's so many amazing opportunities. And it's just, we have to be willing to grab those opportunities. You know what I mean? I love to share, no one determines my future but myself. I determine that.
So with experiences, and life has been nothing but crazy for you, I know, but it led to you opening up your own shop, Prohibition Barber Co. Oh, wait.
Uh-oh. Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I really like it. I wore it the other day, actually. Which, I don't know. A side note, I think with lifestyle, I'm going to bring back Jesus is my homeboy shirts and trucker hats. I don't know. We'll see.
I'll buy one. That's sick.
Dude,
maybe we should do a collab.
Dude, yeah. Supreme Jesus is my homeboy Prohibition collab.
Right.
Tell us about Prohibition Barber Co.
Yeah. So, I was working in a salon for 5 years, and I've always had a desire to create a small barber shop. You want to check out the shop real quick?
Yeah.
So now what we're doing, just to keep everyone safe, keep your mask on, wait here. This is our new waiting area.
Mm-hmm.
We even have a sign here that says it. Reason 4, men, we don't listen. Oh,
nope.
We don't hear. I mean, we don't read. All I hear
all
is
the above. Yeah, I don't do any of that.
Yeah, all I hear is like this. I'm like, yo, stay over there. So yeah, this is our shop. 2-chair barber shop. Stations are from old medical, old hospital.
Dang.
And got some super cool artwork. Old American flag. Got a shampoo bowl. That was huge for that elevated experience.
Wow, that looks really good.
So, small 2-chair barbershop, but it fits so well for us. It's just me and my guy Danny. We've been working here, keeping it COVID safe, and we remain busy. Just because we only allow 4 people in this room, me, both of the barbers, and our clients, and we keep everyone outside. So it's like, again, finding different ways to adjust to what's happening in our current time. And this has just been a blessing that I went from being in a bigger salon to something small. People sometimes would look at that as a downgrade. Oh, this is a huge upgrade for me. You know what I mean? And it's been cool. Everything's been working out great.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it's been really awesome watching you just grow, and I don't want to say adapt, because it's like you've been consistent with your style and your personality and who you are. And so what do you think is next for like the hair industry or education, or because you're in Chicago, which is obviously Chicago, the big cities have been in the news with all the spikes, but eventually we'll get into the new consistent normal, whatever that might be. But what do you think is what do you think is on the horizon for the hair industry?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I mean, what we've been seeing, at least currently, is a lot of online education, a lot of podcast interviews, I've seen a lot of that. In regards to hair, I think the hands-on experience is the best experience. So I don't know if that would fade away. I hope not, just because that real life engagement I feel is like the best. And you get to like feel texture, you get to explain what you're cutting, how you're cutting it, when you're with someone, like real time. But I don't know, man. I always see it as our industry is it goes like this, right? Like different trends is like you can see a trend, and you can see like a specific haircut 10 years ago come back like this year, and then next year it fades away. So it's like that's what I've been like noticing on the trends in our industry. So that's a tough question, man. What's your take on it?
I feel like with honestly brands, and maybe salons or barbershops or establishments that didn't maybe have a clear picture or honest approach, or really a good knowledge of business, right? Or just community, are being cut out. I feel like the excess fat of our career path industry, whatever you want to call it, a lot of that's being cut out, right? And people want more authenticity, and clients are still spending money. It's the hair industry has been completely, and the beauty industry has been completely rocked because we are hands-on. I have guys who followed me because I closed my business, which was the two best days I hear about are opening your business and closing your business. And that resonated for me, at least. Hopefully not you, but it going from 45 to 60, and the salon I'm at, they wanted me, they would be willing to let me charge more, but I started at 60. My old clientele that followed, they followed, and they're paying it, and if that's what they want to do during this time to get out and like feel good about themselves, it's all good, and I feel like it's actually like, it's a scary time in the industry, but at the same time, it's really exciting, and there's like more opportunities than ever. And it's just by simply reaching out, and I would like a lot more money right now, but at the same time, like it's just an exciting time, and I'm really curious to see how everything changes in the next year.
Times that we're living in right now, that it's the unknown. It's the the times that people are losing their jobs, but a haircut could change someone's attitude, could make someone feel amazing about themselves, at least for 2 weeks, right? But it gives you something, right? And so I love to share to others. Let's protect the gift that we have, because not a lot of people have the gift that we have, and we can make amazing money doing what we're doing. We could touch lives. We have experiences like never before. I mean, Mikey, like you said, we're in California on the pier, and I'm like taking this moment. Like, look how amazing this is. We're here at like years ago. I was in my office, at work, just doing computer work. Look what I'm doing now. I'm hanging out with two of my awesome friends after learning. And look what we're doing. We're just kicking it. How beautiful is that?
Yeah. All right. Well, Josh, I want to thank you. And I just loved really actually diving more into your story, even though we've talked many, many times, just actually sit and talk, it was nice. And I want to thank you for being the first official guest.
Yeah.
Much love.
No, brother. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's such an honor to be your first, right? We're gonna rewatch this and be like, oh my God, what was I saying? No, and especially doing work with just awesome people like you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, Mikey. I see you. I see that you're really, really happy. You're fulfilled, and I love it. And as a friend, I love that. And I truly admire that. That's so cool that you feel that, so hell yeah.
Yeah, no, it's interesting times, but it's all good.
Yeah.
All right, Josh. Well, I'll let you go.
Cool.
And we'll chat soon. All right.
Cool. Thanks, brother.
All right. Bye, Josh.
Peace. Later.